Welcome to the BD Sports Talk Podcast, here to give you the latest for sports in the great city of Detroit and the great state of Michigan. This week's episode brings you week 3 of the college football preview. And this week it is the Chippewas who are up to bat. We also get into week 2 of the preseason for the Lions, our thoughts on the game, the weekly Tigers update, and a special surprise game for the fellas and viewers alike. I'm one of your co-hosts, Bill. Along with me, as always, are the other co-hosts, the D and E of the BDE, Dean and returning Eddie. Eddie, welcome back. How you feeling? Are you ready to do this?
Dude, I'm feeling so good. Yeah, I'm
Dean?
ready to do it.
Yeah, doing good, man. Doing good. Let's get it going.
All right, well, let's get things started with the Lions. They came out with a 24-23 win at Arrowhead this weekend. Nate Sudfeld was 14 of 27 with 196 and a touchdown. Zonovan Knight led rushers with 8 carries on 36 yards. And I have it written down here weird, but Vaki had 22 yards. But his main production came from catching the ball, and he had 4 catches, 60 yards. But to me, the bigger stories were Isaiah Williams, who had 6 catches for 71 yards, looked like he should make the roster. And, of course, Hendon Hooker, who was 12 of 15 and 150 yards passing, leading the final drive for the game-winning field goal. Real quick, before I get your guys' thoughts, I saw Dan Campbell say they might keep 3 quarterbacks, and that Sudfeld is the backup as of right now. Do you guys agree? And also, what were your thoughts from this weekend? We will start with Eddie.
Whoa. Doesn't usually start with me, so I'm going to take a time to I got something I need to say about a lot of things here, and you're just going to have to give me some levity. I got about 20 minutes of something that's not Lions related that I really wanted to talk to you guys about.
Okay.
And I just want you to buckle in and shut the hell up. Huh?
Should we start with Dean first?
No, trust me. You want me to lead off with this because it's incredibly important. I actually don't have anything like that. In general, Sudfeld, he did better this week. I remember listening to you guys last week and having watched the game. Sudfeld did suck last week for sure. And it was better this week, but you still got to love what you saw to Hendon Hooker. I think right now they want to say 3 quarterbacks because, Nate Sudfeld is probably good for prep. And I think that's what keeps a lot of certain backups around is they're good at prepping the starting quarterback for a game. Maybe he'll be a good coach in the future. I don't know. He's obviously not somebody you hope. So at the end of the day, like your backup quarterback comes in, there's not many that everybody's like, oh, sweet. Right. Like we're hoping for this guy, unless your starter really sucks. So as far as backup quarterbacks go, I would rather see Hendon Hooker in. I think he's done pretty nice. 108.3 passer rating. So he looks solid to me. Outside of the fumble, obviously, he looked pretty good. I agree with you, Bill. Isaiah Williams. He was somebody definitely to have kept an eye on. I feel like I watched what I could of the game at the more towards the end, which was very exciting. But Isaiah Williams, I'm sure they said, he was the leading pass catcher at Illinois last year. I just feel like they've said that before. I don't have that written down. I'm just assuming they've said that. I feel like I've heard it a few times. So, so I think he could potentially be an adequate St. Brown insurance, potentially, being that slot kind of guy. And you don't want to say you hope he gets in if that's the case, but at least if St. Brown goes out, he's somebody who can get in there and do some stuff. Vaki, I've liked what I've seen out of him the last couple of weeks. I wasn't here last week to talk about it. He runs hard. We say that about like Craig Reynolds, and Craig Reynolds had some nice games, stuff like that. But Vaki's got more dynamic way he runs, and you kind of like that to come in as maybe, that third guy. I guess we'll see. And one guy that hasn't been brought up a ton, but stood out to me when I watched, probably more so than anything, was Beauplain. I don't know how they say it, that linebacker. He had been signed like a day or two before the game. And when I was watching, I'm like, dude, this guy's out here just making plays. And I just like to see it. So he'll probably be a special team or backup linebacker guy if he makes the team. But, you like to see that if one of our guys can't make it. And, of course, somebody I brought up a couple weeks ago, the golden-legged Bates. I mean, you guys saw that 43-yard stroke. It looked good from 60. Dude, that thing was like 3/4 of the way up the goalpost when it went through. I watched it. I'm like, I was, over at Phil's, and I was like, dude, he's gonna drain this thing. I was like, this guy hits from 60 something, and we watched. I'm like, I'm telling you, I mean, just look at that. It was sweet. So no, I like what I see. It's preseason. What are you gonna do? I've already said too much about preseason, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think Hooker should definitely be the number 2 quarterback now after what we've seen this preseason. Like you said, Sudfeld did play better this week, but I mean, I just don't think he's the guy to lead the backups or even come into the game to really give us a chance. When Hooker's in, at least you have that running capability with him, and he's just a little bit more. I don't want to say electrifying because I don't think he's an electrifying player, but compared to Sudfeld, I think he's just more of a dynamic player that would give us more of a capability to win in comparison. So,
he wouldn't have run that touchdown in, right?
Sudfeld?
Yeah,
probably not.
To
just
to try and win.
Yeah, his passes look better too.
Yeah, he's got some zip on the ball. Yeah,
yeah,
100%. And like you said, Eddie, I think the only reason he would say keeping 3 quarterbacks is just because Sudfeld's probably better with the playbook and prepping Goff, which makes sense. Hooker's still. I don't know how raw he is with the playbook still. So
see, and that
we'll see.
Sorry, Dean. I don't want to cut you off, but like I thought about that, and like Hooker was there for a whole year.
He was.
You know what I mean? I mean, he didn't do much. He should have been maxing it. And
but it's that experience, right? I mean, Sudfeld's seen all the defenses. He's seen a lot of coaches and whatever.
Yeah, sure has. Sorry, Dean.
I mean, Hooker's old, but
you're fine. No. Hooker's,
and another thing, Dean.
I just really think he's more of a. He's definitely the number 2 quarterback now, even if they're saying that Sudfeld's the backup. I don't think if it came down to it, if something happened to Goff, I don't think Sudfeld's going to be the guy coming into the game. But let's just hope nothing happens to Goff, because honestly, I don't want to see either one of them in the game, to be completely honest. But and then you look into guys like you said, Vaki. I think he's really showing that he's more of just an all-around weapon more than he is just a running back. I mean, he's pretty decent on special teams. He's catching balls. He can run. He runs hard. He's a lot like Craig Reynolds with running the ball, like you said. So he's been pretty good. Isaiah Williams, he did fumble that punt, but I mean, he really turned it around. Had another good return after that, and then, like you say, he had 71 yards or whatever. So, I mean, I've enjoyed watching the depth guys play, but definitely ready to see the regular season where the starters are, and hopefully they're not like rusty in any sort of sense of the way. But yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, and also the secondary is the depth secondary has looked pretty good this preseason as well so far. So excited to see the season start.
Yeah, me too. Well, the Lions, they have one more against the Steelers on Saturday, and then the roster will be changed and finalized. But as of right now, we are going to change things up and get into the weekly Tigers update.
Oh.
Yeah. The The Weekly Tigers Update is brought to you by Adobo Boy. The Adobo Boy is the official sponsor of the BD Sports Talk podcast. As you know, Dean, returning Eddie, and myself, we are proud Filipino Americans, and we love a delicious Filipino meal. Adobo Boy delivers just that with their amazing food and vibes that are unmatched in the food industry. Not only do they have delicious food, they also go against the grain of a traditional restaurant and tinker with their menu to bring you an amazing variety of Filipino cuisine. Their menu rotates weekly, so there's always a reason to come back to try more authentic Filipino food. There's the one dish that we love, the one dish that we crave. It is that Red's pork adobo bowl. Dean, give us a skinny on that tasty little number.
It is definitely a tasty little number. It's tender pork braised in soy sauce and vinegar on a bed of rice with Jackie's achara or a papaya salad, cucumber and a fried egg. It's everything you would want in a Filipino dish, and I would recommend buying 2. Eat the ingredients separate, mix the adobo with the rice. Of course, that's the only thing you should mix, or you can mix it all together like these 2 animals. It's delicious. Either way you do it, you can't go wrong.
I agree. So if you're into trying new and different foods or just like some amazing adobo and vibes, stop in and say hi to owners Ace, Jackie, and Son Red, who are amazing people who genuinely care about your experience there. Eddie, I gave him the pillars. I didn't do it as well as you. Give it to him.
I mean, the pillars, man. I mean, you get so much when you go in there. You walk in, you see the ambiance, and you get up there, you get to order and see the delicious food that's being cooked. And then on top of that, you get 5% off. Just by saying BD Sports Talk Podcast. You say BD Sports Talk Podcast, you get 5% off, and then you get to take that delicious food, bring it back to your table, and just devour the crap out of it. And you're going to love every second of it. So your 3 pillars, the ambiance, the food, the amazing food, and of course, 5% off by saying BD Sports Talk Podcast. Doesn't get much better than that.
Isn't there one more pillar?
You wish.
Aren't there 4?
You wish. I'm done. I'm done with the smells. I'm done with the aroma.
But it's there.
I was mocked heavily last week.
Oh, you heard that, huh?
Yeah, I happened to watch the episodes of this great show.
Well, if you want that 5% off, you want that delicious adobo, you want those amazing vibes and ambiance, no smells, Adobo Boy is open Tuesday to Friday.
There is great aromas in there.
They're beautiful aromas. Adobo Boy is open Tuesday to Friday, 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch, 5 to 7:30 for dinner. Saturday, same schedule, except that dinner is open until 8:30 p.m. They are off for 5 days, so they're back open on the 27th. When you get there before they run out, because the food's so good. Adobo Boy is located at 3740 28th Street Southeast, Kentwood, Michigan, inside the Amazing Myanmar restaurant. 3 restaurants, 1 location, Amazing Myanmar, brunch and rice, Adobo Boy in the middle. Get there, get fed, get happy. It is always better at Adobo Boy. Well, not much really to say about the Tigers. I went 3-3 over the week, down to 11.5 back in the Central, 9.5 back in the wild card. The young guys are up. The young guys are playing. Eddie, do you think they're thinking playoffs with this young group? No.
Does that not sum it up?
Yeah.
No, of course not. No. This isn't a. They would have to get so incredibly hot, dude. They've been 4th in the AL Central for like months.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they've had some good runs, but I would say I am happy to see the young guys up because that's what they said they were going to do. So, like, if you're going to say that's what you're going to do, then I'm glad you're actually doing that. I'm not sold on that they're going to be some kind of incredible team next year. or anything like that, because we thought that before. And I granted this is a different situation, but can Jace Young play third base? Every time in the minors, they were like, Jace Young can't play third. He had 16 errors, and then he had 2 pretty big throwing errors the other night. And people are blaming Torque for that. And it's like, sure, yeah, he could have scooped it, but maybe Jace should have thrown a good ball. Can Colt Keith play second base? I don't know. But like, they got a hit. I'm just glad to see them up and playing. I really am. Young, he's only, well, I don't have today's stats included in anything, but like up until today, he's hitting 308 at 13 at bats. So whatever. I mean, that's 438 OBP. So at least he started out pretty decent. Dingler, 238 at bats, but he's also a catcher. So you got to give that with a grain of salt. If a catcher's hitting 220, he's probably making the all-star team. 2 home runs, Justin Henry Malloy, of course. I kept wanting to say Mahoney because I handwritten everything. So is that Mahoney? Malloy. He's only hitting 217, but he's also got 8 home runs. So the kid can hit for some power. Colt Keith, he's really, I think, come around as a hitter. He started out pretty rough and got up to 256. I still want to see Hao-Yu Lee come up at some point, just to see if we can get somebody who can actually play in the infield and hit. We'll see. Torque's been doing pretty well, man, since he came back. You gotta love that. But is it another? The kid's good from late August for a month and a half, and I'm not. I don't know if I'm sold on him being the first baseman of the future or not. I'd love if that was the case, but who knows? So, Javi, hopefully this was his last series. I'm sure they wanted to play him against the Cubs, his old team. They brought up what's his face, or who's played some. Trey, is it Trey or who I'm talking about?
Trey Sweeney.
Yeah. Trey Sweeney. Let the kid play. I mean, why not? I mean, Javi, when last I looked, he was like 0 for 4. And then a game before, like 2 games before that, he was another 0 for 4 against the Yankees. I mean, he did get a home run there somewhere in a loss, but he still got it. I think in the game they scored 15 runs. He didn't even have a hit. I'm like, how's that possible? How did we score 15? He didn't get 1 hit. But anyway, I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, Bill. It'd be cool. It'd be quite a cool thing to see.
It happened.
I forgot what playoffs looked like around here outside of football, apparently.
The season's over. That's done for.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, Dean, how you feeling? Playoffs?
I'm thinking playoffs, boys. I'm back. No, I don't foresee playoffs. I do, like Eddie said, I do like seeing these young guys come up. I think we're getting a glimpse of what this team will look like for the next couple of years, possibly. Obviously, disregarding free agent signings and stuff. And to see them being on this, I mean, I know they lost today 10-2, but over the last 10, they were 7-3. So, I mean, maybe we're getting flashes in the pan of what's to come within the next few years, or, we'll see what happens. It's a really young team now for sure. And, you just got to let these guys develop and see what happens.
Yeah. Yep. That's why I have the Tigers update up there, because it's like, at this point,
we'll do it because we're looking towards next season. Because
But yep. So let's see. They play the White Sox. They have a 4-game set against the White Sox.
It's a 4-game series coming up.
Yeah, in Chicago.
That could be fool's gold right there, huh?
Yeah. The worst team in MLB history.
Yeah. They're the only team in the American League, I think, eliminated from playoff contention.
That's
playoff. Playoff contention.
There's what, 142 games, 162 games
left? Yeah.
No, you know what I mean. 162 total games. There's still 40 left. They're 31-97.
That's about as bad as it gets. We've seen some bad teams.
Yeah. And then they have 3 against the Angels.
Saw them live. Got to see the worst Tigers team in history live, baby.
Cheap seats.
And the cheap seats.
And the cheap seats.
There were so many seats available. And yet we were at the top.
They were $5 more. We're in the lower bowl. I don't know.
All right. Well, let's get into week 3 of the State of Michigan College Football Preview with the Chippewas of Central Michigan University. Things have not been great in Mount Pleasant, as the last 2 seasons have been losing seasons back to back for Central, which hasn't happened since Dan Enos went 3-9 in consecutive seasons in 2010 and 2011. On paper, the Chips look like they can maybe be in the mix for the MAC. It's going to be rough. I don't know. Can Emmanuel, Lukes, Bailey, and the receivers be good enough to hide the patchwork on defense? Dean, we'll start with you. What do you think?
It's tough because they're still kind of going into this year with quarterback questions. Emmanuel hasn't really thrown the ball a lot. He's definitely more of a rushing quarterback than he is a passer. And then you have that transfer in Lobos coming in from Iowa, correct?
And Iowa's dynamic offense. And Central Michigan, you have no idea.
And they also have a true freshman in Jaden Glazier. I guess he's been playing pretty well in the spring. I guess he could fight for some of those snaps. So we'll see. They got their 2 running backs back, Lukes and Bailey. 3 stars on the O-line coming back. But then you go down to the defense, and then you see that, a lot of their key guys either transferred out. And are you giving the face because of the defense? Or
it's a little rough.
Yeah, it's okay. I thought you were saying no. Like, what are you talking about? I was like,
no.
I thought I was looking at it. And then they also, the defense is going to be rough. So, like you said, the offense is really going to have to click. It might be a little bit better with more experience along the offensive line, running backs, things like that, and then maybe a transfer. So we'll see, man. I do think they're going to be better this year. I don't know if they're in the mix to win the MAC, but I would give them I would say they're better than Eastern and Western in my eyes right now, offensively at least. So I would say they'd go 7-5 this year.
All right, 7-5 for Dean. Eddie?
Sounds like a guy who doesn't know anything about anything. Because it's very likely Bird Emanuel and Joe Labus share a Heisman Trophy this year, and
First Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, no,
the first dual quarterbacks.
They've already been talking about it. You just don't have the same source as I do.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
If Burt can do, what I hoped before, they'll be good. Maybe Labus is a starter. It's so hard to know, or they'll probably mix them up in packages. I think we agree, without having solid quarterback play, they're going to be in a bad position in general for the season. So, especially since, the top 3 receivers, as you talked about, are still returning and Pruitt, Davis, and Prater or Parker. And I think the combination of Lukes, Bailey, and Emmanuel as a running trio should be good enough to get you somewhere in the MAC in general. So we'll see what happens. Thankfully, Dante Kent returned. You're the only really good player on the defense. I mean, the only potentially top tier player on the defense. The other guys could be good. It's hard to say because they're just unknown. But it could be rough, man. I mean, they got to start games a lot stronger. I don't think that was really reminiscent of Jim McElwain offenses. Last year, they were outscored in the first quarter 82-31. And they just got to do better. I also have them at 7-5. They could win the MAC, but they would have to beat either Ball State or not Ball State, Miami, Ohio, or Toledo. And I just don't think they're going to beat either one of them, just from the eye test right now. But I mean, Miami, Ohio is the 8th game of the season. Toledo's the 10th. So who knows what you look like by then? But from what it looks like now, no. 7-5. CMU should be a team that's getting to bowl games and competing for MAC championships, whether they're winning or not. But that's where they should be, and I think historically have really done that, and it's just not happened. So I feel like Jim McElwain's his seat's probably a little warm right now, at least a little warm, I would think, moving forward. So get it together, Jim.
Yeah, I mean, real quick, do you think another losing season he's gone? Or
I think you have to hold that standard if you're taking yourself seriously. I mean, I didn't like Dan Enos from the beginning, personally, and he ended up proving that he sucked. So, Jim McElwain, he's had opportunities. Central is an opportunity, and he's had a little bit of success here and there, but everything that's gone on around the program's been kind of funky, and he really needs a winning season here.
Yeah, agree. Real quick, week 0 is this Saturday, Florida State, Georgia Tech. The Yellow Jackets.
Where are you at on CMU?
7-5. 8-4, 7-5. I think 8-4, 9-3 is I feel like it's
out of reach.
Wish.
Yeah, I even felt 7-5 was strong when I was going over the games.
Yeah. Especially it's at Miami of Ohio. It's at Toledo.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Maybe they can pull one off against Illinois. I don't know. That'd be pretty sweet. That kind of propels you into, all right, now
national championship situation, playoff,
the best of the 12 seed, Cinderella first year.
So that'd be sweet.
Labus to prove it again. It's another CMU touchdown.
Labus to prove it again.
That's actually a Central Connecticut call that I was replaying right there.
That's not a play.
Yeah, that's not from the playoff because
leave your Thursdays open, fellas. We're going home opener. Kelly Shorts,
dude. You want to?
I do. It's a 7:00 game.
Yes. Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it. By the way, I tweeted.
You guys do it, yeah.
I tweeted Jim McElwain for a comment, or if you want to come on the pod. He never got back to me.
Did he get back to you yet? Not yet.
You scared to answer the real questions, McElwain?
You want to come talk to some real people, Jim?
Yeah, never. We must be afraid. I know. Usually he gets back to me. I don't get it.
James.
So, all right, week 0, Saturday, this weekend, Florida State, Georgia Tech. Yellow Jackets are 11.5-point underdog. Who you guys got? Are we doing pick'em this year?
You want that embarrassment again? No, we can retire it. That's fine.
This is your warm up week.
I think we could do our locks, right?
Yeah. We can do locks.
You have to go through the whole slate.
We could probably just do Michigan teams and then a lock.
I like it.
I like it. Cool. Okay. Well, who you got? Florida State, Georgia Tech.
This was actually somewhat tough for me. I'm going to take Florida State and them covering the spread. I think that's the obvious answer. The only thing that kind of throws me off is that Georgia Tech's offense is actually supposed to be pretty good this year, but their defense has a new defensive coordinator. I mean, they might not be, but it's expected to be decent, their offense. So I'm afraid that their offense is going to put up points, but then Florida State's got that one of the best defenses in the country, at least going into the season right now. So, and they probably have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, getting missed out on the playoff last year when they probably should have been in, regardless of who their quarterback was. So, I'm taking Florida State and them to cover.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I do feel like Florida State has something to prove. They're returning dudes on D. I don't know if Georgia Tech still runs whatever offense they run. You know, they always had the kind of that weird running situation, except for the, couple of years they had Calvin Johnson. Other than that, they've pretty much run that wacky running thing. So, like, I don't know. I feel like FSU has something to prove, and I'd feel comfortable taking them in the points, but that's easy to say right now because nothing else has happened.
Right.
But I feel like FSU has probably, like you said, they got a chip. They got something to prove. And if they don't, then, I mean, that's going to say a lot about them moving forward. But
yeah. No, I'm with you. All right. So
that's a lock.
That's a lock.
The people's lock.
First lock
Put
of the year.
all your money on that this weekend. Your kids got a college fund and you want to double it?
It always works out. Our people's parlays always work out.
Yeah,
historically, they're pretty good.
8% of the time, they work every time.
But when it hits,
oh baby,
so sweet.
So sweet.
So I feel like the couple that did hit actually did pay for a lot of the bets I made for most of the season.
Yeah, but then I just kept betting.
Well, yeah, I had an issue for
about that time
myself.
of the year. I'm getting.
I was betting Israeli and Pakistani basketball during the middle of the workday.
You see the Filipino basketball league is bringing the 4-point shot.
Are they on DraftKings or?
Probably. Who knows? All right. Last segment. I wanted to do this with you guys. I saw on my Facebook page this week, CBS Sports College Football page had a video where they ranked the helmets of all the teams in the Big Ten. So it's split into 5 tiers: elite, good, okay, and terrible. We can take out and go okay and terrible. That's right. We'll just make it 4. So A, B, C, D, or whatever. Elite, good, okay, bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to go alphabetical order. And I mean, you guys have an idea in your head what they look like, right? I mean,
I've seen them. Yeah. I've seen them.
Yeah.
Okay. Start with Illinois.
What is that one? Was that the?
That's the purple eye.
The purple one? The purple eye. Oh, is it on me?
Sure. Yeah.
I'll go with okay.
What are the 4? Elite,
good, okay, bad.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. Let's see.
I like the orange, but
let's go A, B, C, D.
Okay.
Like grades.
Okay.
Let's
see.
What did they label them? Are you going to tell us after?
I didn't.
So we're just rating them ourselves. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Next up, Indiana. The red and white IU.
The pitchfork.
No.
C.
I'm gonna go with C.
I was gonna go with B. I'm gonna go with B for them.
They've never strayed away.
There's only one A on my list.
Ohio.
Yes.
Iowa.
Oh,
I'll give it a B.
I was gonna say I'll give them a B as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not elite, but like it's a very recognizable helmet, right? And I saw those one of the helmets I saw on there. They were talking about that has like a patch on it that's like something about farmers, like supporting farmers. There's like a little
then
yellow
it's
circle.
a C then. Sorry.
Next-
Onlyfarmers.com patch on the top. I'm right.
Only farmers. Next up is Maryland. And we'll go with the one that's the red helmet with the Terps on the side.
The one that just says Terps and like script.
Yeah.
C.
The B minus.
Yeah. I'm gonna go C plus on that. I'm gonna C plus.
So is
All
that
right.
still just okay? Or
Shut up, Dean,
I'm
you didn't know.
confused. I'm confused.
If you don't know, you got to make your own rules, man.
It's a the thing
Next
we took
up, Michigan.
D.
That's fair. To me, it's an A.
Skunk helmet.
it's an A for me. I always liked the design of the Michigan.
Well,
I feel like
it's
if in that article, it's probably up at the top. One of the ones at the top.
It was.
Yeah.
It was, but it's only because it's just that's a recognizable helmet. Like there's a lot of
Delaware or Michigan?
Michigan.
They copied Delaware's.
Clearly.
Delaware College was first, and then Michigan, and they actually started playing football in Delaware 20 years before Michigan did.
I don't know if you're being serious or not.
Guess they'll have to do the
I
research.
think he's full of
The Fighting Hens of Delaware.
I think he's completely full of
Yeah. State is older, Dean. Delaware or Michigan?
I mean, well, Delaware for sure.
So which state had a college first, you think?
They had I doubt it was Delaware.
You don't think
University.
Delaware had a college before Michigan?
I bet it was like whatever is over there. I don't
They
know
had
what's over
skunk
there.
helmets first.
All right.
Let's just play the football.
All right. Next up, Michigan State.
That's an A for me.
Yeah, put it in A. I feel
Honestly,
biased when I say it, but I'm sure
Yeah.
it's between the A, B where they list it or rated it somewhere in there.
I wouldn't call it elite, but it's pretty high up there for me. I'd say like a high B plus.
And they're all
Just I just avoid like their helmets. I
mean, it's
whether-
original. You don't see like it's not common. Green and white is not a common color combo either. Then they have like the Greek thing sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just different. I think in its own way.
For this, we'll go with just the Spartan. The Spartan with the green helmet with the white Spartan on the side. But I'm a huge fan of like when they put the old school Spartan, like the cartoon Spartan, on
Like
the
on my shirt?
Sparty.
Is it?
Yeah.
I always love
like
the
that
script
one.
stuff with the state. I don't know why I'm partial to that. I just do.
Real quick, I've never actually asked you guys' opinion on this. Do you guys like the highlighter green jerseys when they had them?
Not
It was like the green
particularly.
with like the.
No.
I didn't like it when they did that. I don't. Their
didn't
jerseys,
think
the
it
way
fit
they are
them.
good.
What's that?
I like it when Oregon does it. I didn't like it when Michigan State.
But
did
it's
it, though.
different when Oregon does it because
It is. It's a
they're
different
in Nike
color.
country. So they're like, we're not going
That's
to make
true,
you
too.
look bad. They're like, we don't care if Michigan State looks bad.
Yeah, give them the Reebok or whatever.
Yeah.
Those are the
All right.
Puma jerseys. Those are sick.
Yeah.
Minnesota,
C.
C minus.
I was gonna say C as well.
Nebraska,
C.
There's really nothing to it. I'm gonna do D for that one.
I'm gonna go with a B.
Oh,
It's always kind of been, that's kind of another one of those helmets. Very recognizable. I know it's just a white helmet with a red end, but I don't know. Just some. I
Take
guess
out
it's
the
something about
history
me
of
and-
it and just think about the helmet.
Yeah, but that's. Yeah, you're right.
If that's
mean,
part
if
of
you-
it, then that's fine. I mean, you got to judge it on your own. But to me,
Yeah, I mean, you're-
if I just saw it, I'd be like, okay, like there's
Right.
a red N on a white helmet.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Northwestern.
And it's a purple helmet with a with a purple
C.
N in it. That's another D for me.
Ohio State. C for me.
It's a C.
Yeah.
Because they get the weed leaves.
They do have the pride stickers that they put on there.
Yeah, I think it makes.
They got
it
the pot stickers.
unique.
The
Yeah.
pride stickers do make it look cool. I'll give it a B.
I
I'll
really
upgrade it to
don't think they look cool. There's not many helmets I actually think look cool in general.
In the
So
Big Ten.
I throw them in a B. Like, if that is that where I put Michigan? Yeah, I'd probably put them in the same. They're like Bs. I mean,
Oregon.
Michigan a little bit more because it's different.
Right.
Right.
Oregon.
Mm. Mm.
It's just the green with the yellow O.
With the yellow
Yeah.
O on it. Yeah.
We should have gone with like all their helmets. In that case, it's freaking sweet. I love
Yeah,
their chrome
pretty
one.
cool.
I'm gonna give it a B, a solid B.
Yeah. Their regular everyday helmet, I'll give a B.
Penn State. Oh, Eddie, would you give it? B, C, D?
B minus.
Penn State.
Oh man, the best of the best helmets.
An
E.
That's a D, yeah. That's a D.
It's just a white helmet with a blue
Yeah.
stripe.
Yeah.
I'm sure,
The
in like
sickest helmet.
whatever people that do stuff, they're like, "Oh, Penn State, that's a top 10 helmet." You know, it's basic, but it's it's beautiful and whatever.
Purdue.
More like per
Whoa.
don't.
D.
C.
Currently, they're an A.
Rutgers.
I'll give it a B minus.
I give it a B.
Yeah, B minus. UCLA.
B.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like theirs. I like the script. B plus for me. USC with the Trojan on the side.
It's another B for me.
Yeah, that's probably like a B plus A minus situation.
And the Huskies of Washington.
I'm gonna give them a B too. I
B.
kind of like it.
At least got a few colors going.
C. C for
Gold
me.
and
Oh, Wisconsin. My bad.
C.
C. Yeah.
Yeah. Everything about them C. I guess their game day atmosphere is pretty good, but
I believe it.
I mean, yeah, Camp Randall, man. I mean, that's one of the stadiums, right? I mean,
they gotta hold the record for like the whitest basketball team every year.
yeah.
Yes. Them in
At
Iowa.
least in the Big Ten. Michigan tried to compete with them a couple times, but how many Wagner's can we get on the team?
Wisconsin.
Nick Stauskas.
John Teskey. Yeah, it's pretty white. Yeah. Michigan and
We have to
Wisconsin.
play for Coach
Wisconsin.
Beline.
Oh, man.
Moritz Wagner.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for this week's episode. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us. So hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell.
Ding, ding.
So for Dean and Eddie, this is Bill saying have a great week, and we will see you next time on the BDE Sports Talk Podcast.
Sports Talk.